What is up, everybody? Today, we're coming at you straight live with the scrap mechanic gameplay. Now, keep in mind, this video may or may not contain spoilers of Chapter 2. If you don't care, I'm not going to show, like, late game stuff that you should know or might not know about, but, like, just kind of be careful, I'm just giving you a spoiler alert right now. There shouldn't be anything in this video that gets revealed like, whoa, that's in the game now? Wow. But yeah, anyways, today I'm going to be showing off some of the plugins I've worked on, right? Of course, every good development starts at the crash ship, because why go to a warehouse, right? Now, the first plugin I made was a hit indicator. There's no bots around here, so I can't actually show that off, and I don't feel like finding one. So you'll just have to trust me. When you're within range of a bot, it will highlight. It will say that it's hittable. Okay, you're just gonna have to trust me. Okay, ignore that. Now the next thing is pick up totals. Now this is a huge plugin. This is purely my preference, but when you pick up an item or grab an item from his storage, it'll have the plus and then the total. It's like Rust. Okay, does that make sense? I also added some give and, like, you can see I added a give command, give 1, and then you can say give 2, for example, whatever. Anyways, what else is there? There's also kits too. Don't worry about it. Just kit car is the only thing. It gives you some basic car components. Doesn't matter. Irrelevant. The next thing we're going to talk about is Craftbot output priority. So this is a more complicated plugin that requires item logistics and item moving. So by default, let's start with RefineBot first. By default, when the RefineBot is finished processing an item, it keeps that item inside of its inventory. Luckily, it's still accessible by the whole storage system, but it's honestly just kind of silly, right? If I have that item already existing in my storage system, why not just move it there, right? So what this does is when the RefineBot is done refining something, it'll try and find a place in your storage system to put that item, right? And let's say the slot is full. It'll use that same inventory where the block already exists and put it in there, just like that, instead of using the first chest it can find. Let me see if I can quickly show this off. This is gonna be a long video. I apologize. This is the longest part by far right here. No, very good at this game. Very good at this game. Hold on. Don't look in the trees too hard. Big spoilers. Don't do it. But you'll see that if we refine something, this should stay in the inventory. So, it turns out it did not stay in the inventory. However, let me show you that it does find the first chest it can find. Again, the Craftbot would do this, or I'll explain that more in a little bit. But you'll see that when I put this in there, even if I had max scrap wood, by the way, it would still put it in here, because that's just how it is. So you'll see that this will now jump up to whatever. Yep. And then another thing. This is a different plugin, but so that one was called the refinery auto export, right? It'll just export it to the storage system. It'll try to find it in an existing chest, else it'll just put it in the chest. I think I'm going to change that logic to store it in the RefineBot if it can't put it in a chest, or like an existing chest, that is, with the Craftbot. Now, the Craftbot, the export system is a little goofy. Now, I have a question. Where do you think the Craftbot, if I made wood, where would the Craftbot normally put an item? Would it put it in an open chest, or the chest that already contains the item? But it's full. You're correct. It would go in the empty chest. This plugin fixes that. If I make an item and it already has a spot in the storage system, it'll put it next to that item. Yeah. Basic item logistics right there. I'm not sure why that is not done in the base game, because when you're crafting stuff, it's not getting automatically sorted. It's going wherever the hell it wants to in your storage system. it's finding whatever open space instead of just using an existing space that's already in. Like if I'm crafting tons and tons and tons of wood, it's just going to go in the first chest. It's not going to go in the chest that already has wood in it. This plugin fixes that whole thing. If you have a chest with wood in it, the wood will go there. It's as easy as that. Now the next thing I'm going to talk about is the low supply signal, right? This works for gas containers and battery containers. I haven't actually tested battery containers, but they're the same thing, same logic, doesn't matter. Basically, when the container is running low, it will activate a logic signal, like so, right? Again, very simple. You just wire up the gas container to light. What are you talking about? That's cursed. Yeah, and then when it's full, it'll disable the light. Why you would want this, I'm not 100% sure how it would actually work in execution, but who am I to judge? I don't care. I just make the tool. The next thing I'm going to go over is the Craftbot logic mode. Again, lots of stuff with the Craftbot here because the Craftbot, he's just a little silly, stupid guy by default. Now, the Craftbot, you can't tell it to make items on a logic signal. Unfortunate. This fixes that. I know. Ladies, calm down. If you crouch and hit Q, I'm going to probably change that logic. I might make it the upgrade button or something. You'll find this. Ignore the fact that wood was there. You didn't see anything. You can click on add recipe. It will open up the Craftbot. You select the item you want auto crafted. I'm going to use wood because that's what I have. You have to have the stuff to craft it. That's the only problem because you can't just, yeah. Anyways, you hit craft. It'll then select that item. And if you hit crouch Q again, you'll see that it's in here. I'll explain these power buttons, these plus and minus buttons in a second. But if you then give the Craftbot a signal, it'll pull from the chest. So as you'll see, it's making wood now, and it will make it forever until the signal is turned off. And then it'll stop. Now the plus minus, this is the concurrency. So like if you want 5 wood crafting at a time, so you know, it's better if I just show you. As you see, it makes 5 wood at a time. Yeah. And then, of course, that's going here. Very useful. Not really. You can automatically craft fuel if your thing is low. But how are you going to connect the car to the Craftbot, you may ask? Wireless beacons. This is the next plugin. Wireless beacons allows you to transmit logic wirelessly. It just uses the normal beacon, control Q. As you see, there's a bunch of stuff here. It's easy. Look at this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ladies, calm down again. I know. This is crazy. This is crazy right here. Look at that. Look at that. And I didn't just stop with logic. No. If you were reading that, I went and did something. Because of course I did. Right. Of course I did. What? It broke. No, bro. Come on. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, bro. Oh, no. What the? What? No, bro. Come on. Don't be doing this to me, brother. Don't be doing... Listen. Plugins are low. Ooh, no, brother. No, brother. Oh, we're good. I goofed up a little bit. Oh, yeah. Wireless cars. Oh, yeah. This is so stupid, bro. Why would you want this? You're supposed to also be able to hook up the engine and do this reverse. So have this wirelessly go to this one. It's not working right now because the engine is a stupid item. That's why. Because look at this. Okay, first of all, it does that. But look, if you put this on transmit mode and try and do this, max connections reached. I'm working on a fix right now. It's like a one-liner. Don't worry about it. But yeah, that's all I've done. I don't really know why I've done this. The reason why is it started off with, oh, it would be nice to get a logic signal. Or my friend, I made the hit indicator because I'm bad at PvP. And then my friend was like, it'd be really cool if you could get a logic signal out of a gas container when you're running low. It would be cool if you could automatically craft items using a Craftbot through logic signal. And then he made a side comment on a call about being able to transmit logic wirelessly. Oh yeah. And then I also heard him complain about the RefineBot not being able to export items, and the Craftbot not being able to export items in existing chests. By the way, this feature, if there's one feature on here that should be added to the base game, it's pickup totals and the Craftbot output priority, right? Where the Craftbot will put items in an existing chest, not just an exact. See, the Craftbot, it'll put wood in this chest because it's not a complete stack. But if it's a complete stack, the Craftbot will then just use a new chest. Why? 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 Anyways, so those are the two features I think that should be added to the base game. Now we're gonna transition into how is it done. It's not using a custom game. Let me just tell you that much. It's because I'm a loser. Okay, that's why. All right, and I'm gonna be honest. We are using Claude. All right. Oh crap! It opened in the wrong window. We are using Claude because he's surprisingly pretty good at making plugins if he has enough context. And oh boy, he has done pretty good. Now, usually, what you would do is you would replace the underlying code files in the game with the custom Lua, right? Like you'd put the code in the file itself. I have never really been a big fan of doing that because it's difficult to unpatch your game, right? It requires you just manually, or just you need to just re-verify your game, right? There's no just easy unpatch method. Now there is, because how my plugin work is they just use a loader, right? All we're doing is patching over the base tools and stuff. So, for example, the hit indicator, it opened on the other screen. The hit indicator, for example, all it does is patch over the hammer, right? You call this file in the hammer and run the patch sledgehammer function, and that's it. It's very, very easy. All you do is add 2 lines of code to the hammer, and that's it. Now, here's a problem. Unfortunately, with the addition of achievements to Scrap Mechanic, if you modify your game at all, if you modify any of the core files or add new folders or add new files, achievements will be disabled. This is just a PSA. Achievements will be disabled if you mod your game. That's just how it is. And to all the clothing authors that are mad, oh, I can't make clothing anymore. It's the same type of deal. There's DLCs now, clothing DLCs. Again, I don't blame Scrap Mechanic or Axolot for doing that because they money. And there's a ton of people out there who are not gonna care and try to pirate the DLC. So the clothing is now locked in a PBO file, which is their custom bundler format. And I don't blame them for doing that. So you can't make custom clothing anymore. But I've never liked custom clothing. So yeah. But yeah. So I don't really know if I'm gonna release these things. We're gonna see how much traction this video gets because Scrap Mechanic survival mods are especially since achievements are disabled. And it's like a lot of people are still doing the quest line, doing the storyline, especially now, even though it's a week later. So playing with mods, survival mods, isn't really a big thing currently, unfortunately. Especially since it disables achievements. If it didn't disable achievements, I wouldn't care personally. But I want to focus on getting achievements. I don't want to ruin the game, like achievement-wise. So yeah. But yeah. Here, let me show you one of the patches, I guess. Where's the hammer script? I don't freaking, I hate this layout. Hold on, I got it again. Tools, hammer. I got this. Hold on. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. I know it's like right here. Hold on, I'm slow. Sledgehammer, right? Damn it, where did it go? Sledgehammer. So like normal Lua mods, you'd replace this entire file, right? Because that's just how it is. In this, you add 3 lines to the bottom, really 2. You don't need this at all. Now, I do have to preface this by saying, you can't, in my experience, you can't really just remove these 3 lines and have it, the achievements magically start working. You do have to re-verify your game. I'm not too sure why that is. I need to do some more testing. I think it's due to, I think in the underlying achievement checker code, it runs a hash, like some sort of hash against all the files in the game, and it checks if the hashes match. I might see if I can figure out a way to make it so that is not bypassed, but it goes back to the original hash. But I think honestly just doing that should work. I haven't really tested it all too much. I've just always re-verified my game because it's just whatever. But yeah. And for everybody screaming at me that, oh, but airplane, that you're such an idiot. Why are you still patching the raw Lua code? There's custom game modes now. You know what, man? I don't know how to use custom game modes, okay? But you know what I do know how to do? I do know how to edit some Lua, okay? Not me, Claude, but nonetheless, I don't want to. It's just the custom game modes don't. I'd have to make 14 different variations in order to have the amount of flexibility. Like, what if you only want hit indicator and total pickups? That's one custom mod right there. So, anyways, doesn't matter. Or maybe you can do some mixing. I don't know how custom game modes work. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, the game just patches over existing. The plugins I use just patch over existing items. There are no new like blocks or anything. We're just patching over old files and adding a new layout file. That's it. And there's only 2 layout files for the wireless beacon and the logic crafting. But yeah, if anybody's interested in the code, there might be a GitHub down below. I really don't know. We're gonna see what I feel like doing. Don't ask why I'm a woman. But yeah, so just some cool little things I've been messing around with. If you have any ideas, throw them in the comments. Do whatever. You can DM me, whatever. I don't care. I'll say, hey Claude, is it possible to do? And then we'll get a result. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. Yeah. If you are wanting to go out and install this, the current method for installing it is going to your common folder, placing the plugins folder, which will be on the GitHub repo, and then putting this here, installing Bun because I'm a loser, right? And it's just Bun sh. Let me just show you real quick. It's just Bun. It's just Bun because I'm a loser again. And then you go to an installer. Sorry. Let me do that again. You go to plugins, tools, installer. Go up here. Open a command prompt in this folder, and then hit bun run CLI list. This allows you to see the plugins. If you want to install a plugin, you say bun run CLI install. Hit _ indicator, for example, indicator, and then this will install it. It'll copy all the files, edit the files, and whatnot. And then if you want to uninstall, it's just bun run CLI uninstall the hammer, for example, like that. If you want to install everything, bun run CLI install all. This will install everything. If you want to uninstall, same story. There also is a log helper if you're interested. It's again just in the same thing, tools thing. bun, run, CLI. There's a couple of helpful little things here, like latest. This will give you the latest path of the file. If you want to do health, to get the health of all the plugins, because my plugins do have a lot of logging, just for debugging currently. They're all prefixed with this airplane grouper plugins thing right here, and then you can say, you know, pipe container routing, for example, health pipe container routing. This is all the logs for just that one. I don't think I'm using that right. Oh, you got to do dash dash plugin. Um, see, and then this is all the logs for just the pipe container instead of all the plugins. Again, this is just some logging stuff. You don't need to worry about it. But yeah. Again, I'm gonna clean up this README because currently it's very, very dev focused, not very public facing. So yeah, I'm gonna say, Claude, make me a public GitHub repo README for this project, and it'll go almost certainly. And then, so, anyways, just GitHub down below. Yep. It'll be in my trash repo. Actually, you know what? This will be on my main GitHub page because why not? Okay, why not? Because I say so. Okay, because I say so. Okay. All right. Anyways, yeah. Have fun. Have fun. Do whatever. I don't care. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Oh, also by the way, the admin kits / give command. I didn't go over this. I don't really need to because the admin kits don't matter. There is a /kit car command /kit space car /give and then item name, but you have to use the code name. You can't just say would. The admin kits, don't worry. Just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Okay. Don't worry about it. Okay.